I wanted to give you guys an update. Oh, my head is starting to hurt. On the virus, some information that I've received. I'm so tired. I sat up way too late last night. Okay, so there's reports out that's stating it's about over 100,000 that's infected, which makes sense once y'all get into details about all this information. The R naught, which was what I was thinking about in my last video when I was like, oh, that's shiny and other. My last video when I was like the R naught, and I was referencing contagion. That's what they were talking about in that room, and it was on the chalkboard, on the board, the dry board, and it was like the R naught, blah blah blah. So the R naught for this virus that's spreading through China is 3.3 to 5.47 rate of infection. To give you a point of reference, the R naught for the flu is 1.3. And everybody died 100 years ago, yeah. And if it's an R naught under 1, that means it's something that will die off. And again, this was at between a 3.3 to 5.47. So you can safely say about a 4 because, China's trying to downplay this a lot. They even, because of how things work over there, they didn't want to they tried to really keep this under wraps, and they pretty much passed blame game. So in one of their efforts to try to downplay this initially, they ended up having some type of feast where everybody ate together. I think it was like up to 1,000 people that ate together within a half a mile radius of the epicenter of this particular virus. So now all of those people are infected because they was trying to do something to make it look like it wasn't as bad as what it really was and when it really was. But they didn't want the world to know. They was trying to keep it under wraps. Okay, so they had this big feast as if to try to make it seem like it wasn't as big as it was. And so now all those people got it, right? So again, it's 100 infected. The R naught is between 3.3 and 5.47. The flu R naught is 1.3. So that just kind of gives you a gauge. And if it's less than 1, R naught of less than 1, it will die off. So it's 100, over 100,000 infected. To give you a point of reference on that, the SARS was 8,000 infected. Okay. And all this other information is in no specific order. I was just jotting down notes. Washington State went on high alert. They have a lot of people that are infected that they're downplaying. I guess it was some guy that was walking around for 5 days infected. You can be infected for 14 days and not know it. And this virus can live up to 5 days outside of a host, meaning on anything, on any surface, clothes, hair, doorknobs, everywhere, toilet seats, everywhere. It can live on surfaces up to 5 days. The doctor that I was telling you about in my other video a couple of days ago that came out of retirement, he retired last year and came back and then died. He said he took all precautions and that, as far as what doctors do, all precautions and stuff like that, all the masks and things, and it got into his eyes. Okay, so you even have to wear goggles. They're saying pretty much, there's a lot of people that are going around trying to buy up a lot of the masks and things like that. When they're saying that it really doesn't make a difference because it can even get in your eyes, it get in your hair. You can carry this on your shoes, bottom of your shoes. There's some rumors somebody said that Bill Gates may own the patent to this. Some people that are also that live there, some white folks, that get to live there or whatever. They're saying that that their WeChat, which is kind of like their Facebook and stuff, they're running propaganda saying that the USA did this to them. I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know, who knows, but you never know, right? North Korea has closed its borders. The dark web had chatter on this particular virus or on an outbreak before this even hit, before it even became a thing. People are digging tunnels People are trying to close off tunnels even. People are trying to dig tunnels to get out, and there's other communities and different like neighborhoods and different blocks or whatever you want to call it over there that are actually building walls themselves to keep people out and trying to cordon off tunnels with debris and dirt so that they can prevent it from getting into their little area. There's riots that are breaking out that they're keeping under wraps. They said that they suspended all air travel, but there's some people that are really good at, know how to find out if planes are in the air. They've been looking. They're saying that there's still some planes in the air in that area. Let me see. Many companies have shut down. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is that there's a lot of companies things that we need that China manufactures, in some form. A lot of our pharmaceuticals, clothing, car parts, cars, food, our set medicines, even McDonald's closed their headquarters over there. What else do I got for you? Riots. So yeah, there's no symptoms up to 14 days, and you're contagious within that 14-day period. Okay, so everybody's downplaying it. I think it was articles, somebody, I don't know if it's BuzzFeed or something like that. They said, don't wear a mask because you're gonna touch your face and which really what they should have said, and I know they're not going to say because again, they don't want people to panic. It's just like your house. You have to look at governments and things like how you run your house. You don't want your kids to panic. You kind of tell them little white lies, or you try to, make things not seem as bad as what they are because you don't want them worrying about it. And for adults, and you oversee hundreds of millions and even billions of people, you don't want them to start panicking because they're going to start riots, people raping people, killing people, all that stuff. You don't want you don't want things to break down, and that will break down within like 3 days. It's what they say, in 3 days shit'll break down. Society breaks down in 3 days, where it's just lawlessness. So of course you have to understand these people that out here says, oh well, what, if they would tell us. No, they wouldn't. If there was a meteor coming straight for Earth, like in the, what was that movie with, that old movie came out about 20 years ago where the meteor would hit in the ocean, they're not going to tell us. They're not going to tell us because they don't want mass panic. They ain't going to tell us. They might tell us within like hours. Okay, so you have to understand, and sometimes it's a conspiracy too, but sometimes it's like you might as well not even say nothing, or you might as well downplay it because it will just cause complete and utter chaos. And again, there's a lot of state money. People got money and investments. The rich people that move things and run everything, and the powers that be that are usually unnamed and unknown, they run things and got things moving. So everybody's money's stopping. There's a lot of things that they want to keep going in the interim. So I think it's the WHO had an outbreak map. I'm gonna have to find that map. This is so weird because there's some things that I was like looking at last year, and sometimes I don't post on this page. I go post a lot of stuff in my group, but I had posted. I've actually posted this map, and I've also posted the fact that they have been having trainings with actors, using actors in certain little towns in the United States for outbreaks, which I found was kind of odd. Some of them, certain simulations, one was like simulating somebody going into a crowd of people and infecting them or something like that. But they've been doing simulations, and this is within like a year. That's been happening, right, leading up to this. That's been happening right after the Russian lab blew up, that it contained some of the highest infectious diseases there is. Okay, our government went, I forgot what it was, something that we eradicated. I can't, my brain, honey, this is why I have to write everything down. My brain is messed up, but it's a really common one. It was there. And so when that happened, Our government like bought like an ungodly amount, like I don't know, a few 100 million doses of this. The last year, our president told our branches of military to set aside an ungodly amount of money aside. Just put that aside. Don't use it. Put, whatever our budget, put this X amount of dollars aside in each branch. Didn't specify what or whatever. There was an emergency last year. There was an emergency session to where they gave, I don't know if it was the Defense Department in general or a particular branch of the military, a honeypot, a real nice honeypot of money. Like, just, it went through like this. It wasn't, let's talk about it. Like, it literally was days and it got improved in days. So something's going on. A little bit on about the, I just want to touch a little bit about the earthquakes. So it's 2 earthquakes that took place. Some saying 6.6, some is saying as high as 7.6. Jamaica and Cuba. It was felt all the way in Miami. Some of the buildings in Miami shook. There was no tsunami, so who knows what the hell is going on. A month or so ago, Puerto Rico had an earthquake. Already, they're saying from these particular earthquakes, there's sinkholes opening up. There's a lot of stuff that be going on. I know a lot of y'all don't pay attention to a lot of stuff I know I'm just weird. Okay, I just pay attention to the stuff that's I want to lift up the skirt, lift up the veil, because I know that there's a war within the world. So I just wanted to really quickly fill you guys in on what I've learned so far, though, about this virus that they have. I just want to look over my notes, make sure I didn't miss anything. Doctors, the symptoms. So it's really wild that the fact that this thing could live 14 days. I mean, you can be infected for 14 days and not know it. And the fact that it lives 5 days on any surface outside of a host, any surface. It's wild. It's almost, I don't know. I'm in the camp of thinking a lot of things they've toyed with and engineered, maybe took something and maybe manipulated it and grew it into what it is, like HIV. I'm one person that believes that it was definitely something that was made in a lab. Maybe they took something and mutated it and made that. I don't know. But it's just, people want to claim like global warming and, they're opening up, this ice is melting and these diseases are coming out the woodwork. And that, to me personally, is a cover to me for, there's I know a lot of us don't pay attention, but there's a really, really big eugenics push that has been for at least the last 100 years, all types of things that are behind that when they try to, they go into a lot of places talking about they got these via nations. And I'm saying some things incorrectly on purpose because I know that Facebook is also flags certain words. So, and it's other stuff in it like sterilizing people in the via nations and, all these other little things. And you just don't know. Okay, so I don't put it past it, but I just know that. Just want to let you know this is bigger than what they're saying. Okay, so I can't even say go get this, go get that, because you really can't do nothing about it unless you. I mean, because I'm even thinking like even if you because I was like, well, sitting at my desk and I'm like, well, you get those really thick, hefty garbage bags, the really, really thick ones, and duct tape, and you can make your own suits because they don't have those suits readily available. So it's like, what can you do? And it said, what the mask is. The mask is there's a certain type of mask, I wrote it down, that you can get. I didn't must have write it down on here. It's a certain type, N95 mask that you can get, which is probably at a military surplus or something like that you can get, but if the shit's sitting everywhere, it ain't gonna make a difference because it could be in your hair and everything like that too. So you can't even. So, but I was thinking like if you can get a hold of the N95 mask, and then maybe like make your own suit, airtight suit with those really really thick. It might be like the lawn bags, the really really thick hefty ones. They're really really thick. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. They're like really expensive, and they're like the lawn bags to get your leaves up. And they're usually a little bit more sturdy and really like you can't easily poke a hole in them. The black ones. And you can make your own suit, and you would have to, I mean, it would look kind of cheesy and fucked up, but who cares when you're trying to make sure you're not going to get sick. But you can, and duct tape like, duct tape the ends and then put your gloves on and duct tape that onto that. Girl, please. Look. So anyway, I don't know, y'all. I just wanted to let y'all know that, because I know our people tend to believe what we hear on the media, and on CNNBC, and even the CDC is going to downplay. Okay, and from the sources that I'm getting information from, who are getting information from the dark web and getting information from military people who are and also getting information from people who actually are there, I would think that our government don't even know how bad it is because of how China's trying to keep it on the low. They're trying to downplay it. They're really trying to downplay it. So I don't even think our government knows. And our president offered our best CDC people to go over there, and they turned them down. So I think they don't want us in there because they don't want us to find out how bad it really is. Did I tell you North Korea shut its borders down? Also, I found out my video a few days ago when I was talking about they was going to build a hospital in 10 days. The pictures that they showed, some people that are construction people that lay the foundations and stuff like that, it was like, well, there's too many trucks. I don't know if I posted the picture in my group, but they was like, that's too many trucks. It don't make any sense. And so then China came out with some pictures of this, saying like, oh, look, we built this in 7 days. And then somebody debunked it and said it was a building that was already built. And it was like 600 miles away. So they're really doing a lot of hiding on this. They're really trying to cover this up. China's really trying to cover this up. So trust me, it is worse than what they are saying. If you don't need to go out, don't. I know in this country that's kind of hard to say, but I mean, especially if you're in areas where they're like Washington, Ohio has some cases. There's 22 states so far we know for sure that have activated their alert thing for, went on high alert for this and activated their protocols or whatever for this case. This is what's happening. I know that Arizona, Rhode Island, Florida, California, Washington, Ohio are one. We had 2 people here. They tested negative. They came out to be negative, but we have a lot of Asian people. We have I forgot what they call that when they have certain peoples from certain countries come to certain cities in, the nations. I forgot what they call that, but it's a lot of Hmong, a lot of motherfuckers, Asians that come over here. So to this state. So I suspect that it was going to hit Minnesota. There's a lot of other countries, England, Australia, most of all the Asian areas, North Korea, one of the Koreas, Taiwan, all that. They got cases. Everybody over there, Taiwan, Tibet. Anyway, all them Asian little areas, they got outbreaks. So this is global. So, all right. So I'm gonna have to wrap it up. I've did my 15 minutes. I got to go back upstairs. I will probably share this to my FYI group, and then I have to try to come back and download it later on, so I can load it up to my FYI YouTube. Because I know that we don't pay attention to shit like this. All right, I'm out. Be safe.